Time is 4:23 p.m. and we're back on the record.
Mr. Crenna, you also said to me earlier that if during the course of the deposition anything else occurs to me, I should just break in.
Sure.
Even if it seems out of context.
Sure.
Under the subject of mistruths spoken to your client, during the course of these telephone conversations, he would frequently ask me to pass along information, ask questions about Bob, or to Bob about him. And I, in fact, told him that I would, and that I did. And on those occasions, that, of course, was a mistruth.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all that comes to mind at the moment.
So that if...
And when I use the expression pass along, that's a phrase that I use to suggest passing along information verbally.
Understood. So that if the tape contains that statement from you, that you had passed something on to Mr. Dillon, when you said that to Mr. Damiano, you were lying to him.
That is correct, sir.
Other than the Tarangiel litigation and this litigation, sir, have you any knowledge of Mr. Dillon being involved in any other litigation? And I mean to exclude from that any, automobile accident cases or things of that nature. Anything involving his professional capacity.
Anything. Personal knowledge, other than stuff I may have read in books or in papers or anything that I have personal knowledge
Well,
of?
or if you've read something from a source that you deem to be a professional, reliable source, I'd like to know about that.
I don't have any recollection of any litigation involving his professional activities, his singing, songwriting skills. No, I do not.
Okay. Do you recall stating the following to Mr. Damiano, sir? And this is regarding some faxes that he states he sent to you, so you have it in context. He asks you the following question: are you going to send my songs back that I faxed you? And you replying, they wouldn't even show up on the fax because the quality of the original faxes came through to me. In other words, they didn't print out that well. They'll just be kept in a safe place. Do you remember saying that to Mr. Damiano?
I do recall saying that.
Okay. Was that a lie?
No.
Okay. What safe place were they kept?
In a file cabinet.
And are they still there?
No.
Okay. When are they in existence?
When were they in existence?
No, I'm sorry. Are they in existence?
No.
They were destroyed.
I'm sorry?
Were they destroyed?
The only way I can answer the question is to let you know that when the faxes originally came through my machine, the printing was virtually illegible for one reason or another. But I would take the page anyway and put it in the file cabinet. Somewhere after Ace left me, 6 months ago, a year ago, I went through a general paper cleaning of most of my files and came across hundreds of pages of fax material before hard print faxes were available, rendering the pages virtually invisible. And those invisible pages were then thrown away. Not just in Mr. Damiano's case, but any pages that I just had filling folders that could not be read.
Mr. Mintz, are you telling me that this was done after Ace left you?
Yes.
Is that what you said? And she left in April of '95?
You would have the date. I don't recall exactly when she did.
I believe that was her testimony. Okay. How soon after she left you were they destroyed? A week after? A month after?
I couldn't say for certain. I just remember she had left, and I wanted to go through all my files. I was alone then, to see how much of it is junk and how much of it could be useful.
And
probably within a couple of months.
okay, would you think it was the summer? Was it the summer that it happened?
I really can't fix it.
Okay, it's of some importance. That's why I'd like to try to press you a little bit on it, if you could take a moment to reflect.
When did Ace leave?
She said she left April of 95. April of 95.
Best guess would be a couple of months afterwards, so I'm going to just say May, June of 95, approximately a year ago.
But you knew from conversations with Mr. Damiano, did you not, sir, that he had consulted lawyers about his claims? In fact, when he told you that, you made comments that connoted some feeling that you wanted to not have any further contact with him. Would that be fair?
I recall him mentioning to me that he had consulted an attorney.
Okay.
Once he said he had consulted an attorney, I thought that that would be an appropriate point for us not to have any additional conversations.
Understood. Understood. The reason I'm asking you is that as a professional, knowing that here is a man who said he consulted an attorney, and those conversations took place considerably before May of 95, could you explain to us why you would have destroyed documents pertaining to him, given the fact he made it clear to you that he was consulting an attorney, and
yes,
you know that consulting attorneys often leads into lawsuits? And
two reasons for not attaching much importance to that. One, the papers that I had destroyed were illegible papers as a result of the disappearing fax ink process. That was the first reason. They would be of benefit to nobody. And secondly, by that point in my discussions with Mr. Damiano, I had reason to believe that there was not a great deal of merit in anything that he was saying to me.
In retrospect, Mr. Mintz, do you think that was a prudent thing to do?
With respect to the fax paper, I don't think it would make any difference at all in retrospect if I came in here with 12 blank pieces of paper. With respect to him going to an attorney, it's his right to do.
Well, I didn't mean his right to do it. I concede that he has a right to consult an attorney. My point is that as recently as this morning's news, we know that the Senate is getting a report today from handwriting experts to see if Mrs. Clinton's fingerprints are on pieces of paper. And what I'm baffled by is that you're, obviously a professional person. What were you thinking? If I may be colloquial, what were you thinking that you would take documents that were obviously the subject of a claim and destroy them?
You're referring to them as documents, and I'm referring to them as blank pieces of paper in which you could not read anything on the paper. There'd be no reason for it. I mean, for fingerprint purposes, if the issue was my fingerprint on a
Not
piece
yours. Somebody else's, sir, such as the defendant.
That never crossed my mind. There would be no way that the defendant's fingerprint could ever appear on a piece of paper that came out of my fax machine and went directly into my file cabinet.
Well, I hear you say that, but as you know, that's...
Mr. Kramer, I'm going to object because you are... I don't know if it's intentional or not.
You're directing them not to answer?
I'm going to object. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but you're making all sorts of characterizations and about your mental impressions and your beliefs, and his answers are going to be inadmissible because of that. So for your own benefit, I would say that, but also I just don't think it's appropriate to clutter the record with your mental impressions about whether you believe he's a good professional or a bad professional, whether you believe you're incredulous or not incredulous.
Well, the point is that...
I know what your point is, so you don't have to repeat it.
The point is as plain as the nose on both our faces. I mean, the point is that this gentleman has taken documents, evidence, and destroyed it.
He has done nothing of the kind.
He's taken faxed songs and destroyed them.
There's no evidence that he destroyed any evidence that is of any relevance in this case.
That's a very cavalier comment to make, especially given your position.
There's no evidence of anything of the kind.
Well, just let me make sure I'm clear, so the record is clear. You don't dispute the fact that these were, in fact, and I think you've said it, they came from Mr. Damiano. Yes? These documents, these pieces of paper.
They came through my fax machine. Could I say for an absolute certainty that they came from Mr. Damiano? I couldn't say that for an absolute certainty.
Well,
it would be my guess that he sent them to me.
Okay.
It could have come from somebody else, somebody who he was involved with. Possibly.
And just because you made this statement, again, when you make statements, I have to respond to them, or lest someone will think that there's no response. Mr. Damiano, Mr. Mintz has testified that he discarded blank fax papers before this lawsuit was ever commenced. The allegation concerning your client was the disappearance of originals a few weeks ago during the heat of battle in this litigation. Mr. Mintz testified that several months after April '95, he discarded the blank pieces of paper before the commencement of this lawsuit, and that's a far cry from the allegations.
You can put whatever spin you want on it, Oren, I'm sure you're skilled at that. The fact of the matter is we've established that he was put on notice that litigation counsel had been contacted. These were documents sent by my client, and they were destroyed. And you can put whatever spin on it.
He was not.
He
was not.
Please let me finish.
Sorry, apologize.
You want to put on it, but that's the fact of the matter. And you can say they were legible or illegible or what. And you and I both know that is beside the point.
He was
the point is that he was told by my client that he consulted counsel, and then after being told that, was told my client that they would be kept in a safe place. He's confirmed that. And then after telling my client they would be kept in a safe place, he proceeded to destroy them. That we know. That we know, and that's not disputed, that part.
He was not told by your client that, put on notice of anything. Your client made many outlandish, baseless statements and had no reason to believe that your client was doing anything other than doing more of the same. So when he said he had consulted with a lawyer, he also made other statements in there which were blatantly
commentary
untrue.
Now?
Excuse me?
What is this commentary now?
I'm responding to your statement. Let's read back Mr. Kramer's statement.
No. I mean, your commentary about what was baseless. There's no
You
testimony
said your client.
to that. There's no testimony to that effect.
There has been plenty of testimony to that effect. Your client did not put anyone on notice that he had retained a lawyer, that he was going to file a lawsuit. He said he had spoken to attorneys. He said a lot of things to Mr. Mintz.
You can spin it as much as you want to spin it, Mr. Snyder.
Okay. We'll let Judge Simandl be the decider of what's spun and what is not spun.
Okay.
As he will do.
The time is 4:23 p.m. and we're back on the record.
Mr. Kramer, you also said to me earlier that if during the course of the deposition anything else occurs to me, I should just break in.
Sure.
Even if it seems out of context.
Sure.
Under the subject of mistruths spoken to your client, during the course of these telephone conversations, he would frequently ask me to pass along information, ask questions about Bob, or to Bob about him. And I, in fact, told him that I would, and that I did.